Hello, my name is Annie Persick, and my debut novel, The Defiant Spark, is out now from Fantastic Books Publishing, and I am going to read part of the first chapter. To set the scene, the main character Abelard works in a call centre fixing problems with magical artefacts, and he's been called out to an emergency situation with a rogue artefact. The door to the office building opened before Abelard even reached it, revealing a short, pale young woman with light brown hair in what Abelard thought was called a pixie cut. Frowning, she hurried to meet him halfway down the front steps. "Are you the artisan that's come to fix the post-effect?" Abelard laughed, but choked to a stop at her affronted expression. "I'm sorry, Miss... Jen Blake. What's so funny?" "I really am sorry. It's just I wish I was an artisan, but I'm just an engineer. An artisan would never stoop to coming out to fix a malfunctioning artefact." "But you can fix it." "I hope so." "Then you're more use to me than an artisan. Come on," she said over her shoulder as she turned to jog back up the steps. "I was trying to finish a mail out and the post-effect went berserk." Abelard hurried to keep up as she dashed inside and sped down a corridor to the Leatherfacts. "What exactly did you tell it to do?" Abelard asked. "If you can take me through it, step by step." I filled the envelope tray. Then I attached my Smartie to transfer the specifics of the mail-out and... Abelard held up a hand to stop her. "I think I know what the problem is. Posties are McPherson artefacts, and they're notoriously temperamental. They don't like interacting with artefacts made by any other company, and the Smartifact is Gadgetech products. That's probably why the post-room manager won't let anyone touch the damn thing. But he went home early, and I really wanted to finish tonight." Jen stopped in front of a glass-panelled door. "It's in there." Through the door, Abelard could see the 5-foot-high unit of the post-effect. Its drawers gaped open, envelopes and paper scattered everywhere, and the grasping metal claws that managed the post-sorting flailed. A Smartifact was attached to the interface crystal about waist height from the ground, somewhere behind the post-effect's whirling arms. "I thought it would be the quickest way to program it for the mail-out," Jen said. "It might have worked if the postie was a new model, but that one looks ancient, so it probably needs manual instructions. Next time I'll just stuff the envelopes myself." Abelard took a deep breath and injected a note of mock bravado into his voice. "I'm going in." "Good luck." Inside, the post-effect's arms were still thrashing, and there was a worrying blue glow coming from the Smartifact. Abelard gritted his teeth. A mana surge could blow both artefacts to bits, and possibly him along with them. He had to disconnect them, and fast. He lowered himself to the floor, lying down just outside the post-effect's reach and inching along on his back until he could see the vicious metal arms scything above his face. Sweat prickled on his forehead and started dripping into his eyes. He couldn't wipe it away without risking his fingers being sliced off. Staying flat, he pushed himself closer, the displaced air from the whirling claws ruffling his hair like a deadly caress. Finally, he was able to reach up and grasp the Smartifact where it connected to the larger machine. As soon as he touched it, he felt a jolt from the leaking mana. Blue light spread over his hand, sparks crackling between his fingers and creeping up his arm. He tried to pull his hand away, but couldn't. His heart started to pound. The blue glow reached his shoulder, and the tingle of the mana turned into a searing pain. He felt himself being lifted, though the post-effect's arms had gone suddenly still. The last thing he saw was Jen wrenching the door open as blue light washed up across his face and over his eyes. Everything went blue, and then everything went black. Abelard came back to awareness slowly. He opened his eyes to a worried gaze. "Are you okay?" Jen asked. He tried to sit up and his head swam. All his limbs felt 3 times their normal weight, and there was an uncomfortable tingling in his fingertips. Jen helped him into a sitting position. "You hovered in the air," she said. "Light shot out of your hands in streams. It picked up the paper and stuff on the floor and put it all back in the right places." Abelard looked around him. The post-effect was motionless and the room was tidy. "However you did it, you've saved me having to clear up the mess." Jen grinned. "It's a shame you couldn't have finished the mail shot while you were at it." "There must be a way to get the postie to do its job properly," said Abelard, his engineer mentality kicking in past the confusion in his mind. Jen's lips twisted. "I'd rather not have anything more to do with that thing if it's all the same to you. It's caused enough trouble for one day." "My job here's only half done." Abelard clambered to his feet. "We've got past the immediate crisis, but I'm supposed to fix artefact problems, and the problem isn't fixed." Jen smiled. If there's a way to get the postie to do the mail out, it would save me a lot of work. Is there another artefact we could use that it would be willing to talk to? Good idea, he beamed at her. Hang on a second. He walked over to his bag and rummaged through it. Most of his personal artefacts were made by Gadgetech, but he thought he had an Artco artifact in there somewhere. If Jen's idea worked, Abelard would have to endure some ribbing from Matteo when he told his friend about it. Abelard liked the pizzazz of Gadgetech artefacts, but Matteo was a staunch advocate for Artco practicality. Abelard produced the artifact with a flourish and smiled at Jen. Let's see if this will do the trick. He reached out gingerly and connected the Addy to the posterfact. Using the Addy as a bridge, he retrieved the Smartie from the floor and reconnected it. Nothing happened for a long moment. Just as Abelard was starting to think the plan wouldn't work, the posterfact jerked back to life. Both Abelard and Jen stepped away from it, exchanging a wary glance. But the artefact merely collected paper and envelopes from its drawers, inserted them in the appropriate trays, and got on with its job. A couple of minutes later, Jen picked up the top envelope in the stack now waiting in the output slot, neatly sealed and addressed. That was really fast. All part of the service, said Abelard. He disconnected the artefacts and handed the Smartie back to Jen. I guess your work here is done, she said. I guess so. Don't hesitate to get back in touch if you have any more problems. Abelard winced at the stilted official phrase. Jen laughed. Oh, I'm planning to have as little as possible to do with this postie from now on. She paused, then went on with a shy smile. What's your name, by the way? You never said. It's Abelard. Her eyebrows shot up, but she didn't comment. Maybe we could go for a drink sometime and you could regale me with other tales of your daring-do. She wrote her number on a spare envelope and held it out. Abelard took it, dazed. I'll do that, he said. He dropped off to sleep as soon as his speedifact set off for home and only jolted awake when the vehicle pulled to a stop outside his building. He made it into his bedroom and collapsed onto the bed, fully clothed. The mystery of the blue glow, not to mention the miracle of Jen's number, would have to wait for the morning. It was Jen who was foremost in Abelard's mind when he woke up the next day. A good night's sleep had dealt with the effects of his posterfact adventure, but Jen giving him her number was momentous. He couldn't wait to get to work and tell Matteo about it. He reached to turn his chronofact around to check the time, and a tingle fluttered over his fingers. He snatched his hand back, then reached out again slowly, nervous but curious. The nearer his fingers got to the artefact, the stronger the tingle grew. As soon as he touched it, a blue glow started to envelop his hand. He pulled his hand away again, but the glow of mana remained, crackling between his fingers as he moved them. Abelard spotted his cleanofact poking out from under the bed. He didn't use it very often, and it wasn't charged. A crazy idea formed in his mind, and he crouched down beside the cleanofact, reaching out with his glowing hand to touch its interface crystal. As skin connected with the artefact, the blue light transferred from his fingers into the crystal. Abelard's breath caught in his throat as the cleanofact came to life and started bustling around the room, sucking up dust. Abelard stared at his fingers, which appeared normal again. As he stood there, agog, the cleanofact ran down and ground to a halt, but he hardly noticed. Only one set of people could manipulate mana directly and transfer it from one artefact to another. Abelard might not have been an artisan the day before, but apparently he was one now. So that's the end of Chapter 1, and if you want to find out what happens next, you'll have to get a copy of the book, which is available on Amazon or via the link getbook.at/Defiant Spark. I hope you enjoy reading it, and you can find out more about my other writing and my writing life at my website, which is www.aloebear.co.uk. That's ALOBEAR, aloebear.co.uk. Thanks for listening.